did you have free will to choose those movies?
Yeah, I think so, because at that time I think the first time I watched Zoolander, like, just personal experience, I think I was just at home flipping through the channels, and it was like, this looks kind of funny. Okay. Oh, that's Owen Wilson. So.
What do you think caused you to think of that movie?
Family influence. Yeah, 100%.
Today.
Oh, I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. This is like a great thing to do when it's really hot.
Yeah.
and I don't feel like walking around.
Kind of relax in the shade. And, yeah.
So what I do is a practice called street epistemology, which is a dialectic on how to understand what it is someone views. So you can also how about I just tell you what this process involves, and you can say no to it if you want.
Yeah, not a problem.
It's basically you can either make a claim, something that you think is true, and it'll be my goal to bring clarity to your views and to better understand your view, and to ask you questions about it, about your confidence in that thing, what it would take to change your mind, that sort of thing. And
yeah,
that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's more to it than that, but maybe you can tell me what's on your mind, what it is that you believe.
Ooh. So it's a weird nihilistic optimism. I believe people are here to spend their time figuring out why they're here. But I feel like, the journey's not really... The journey is the whole point. It's not really the destination. Once you figure out why you're here, by the time that comes, you're usually passing on or what have you. So I really think that my beliefs are like... I believe a lot in willpower and determination, and doing whatever you can to better yourself than others. As far as like religious beliefs, I'm not really religious. I went to a private Christian college for a few years, but I really feel like religion's more or less a moral compass, not really a set of guidelines or here's the afterlife. It's more just like here's a solid baseline of how to treat others. I really believe in just trying to help whoever I can, whenever I can. I don't see gender as a thing. I really don't see like race as a thing. I think like if you have a soul and you're a human being with a heartbeat, you're the same as everybody else,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the first thing I heard was there was a lot there.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. The whole idea is to air it out and think about it. What was the first thing that you said? Oh, what was that first thing? You mentioned, that it was more about the journey and less about the destination.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all know what the destination is.
Yeah.
It's death.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, we all die, you know? So what are we doing in that middle part, We know where we start, we know where we end. What's your story between? That's really the meat of it.
And why is that important?
I think a lot of you don't choose where you're born. You don't choose where you were raised or anything like that. You choose how you live your life. And after a certain point, you live your life. You're not in the constraints of your family. You're not in the constraints of your religion. You have that free will, whether you see it or not. And so I feel like once you hit a certain age, you're really at the point where you have that free will, you have that individuality, that I don't want to say isolationist, but that everybody has a nomadic spirit, I feel. And so once you hit a certain age, you realize, like, I'm different than my family, the people I've lived with my entire life, and at least in subtle ways. I'm my own person, and I feel like not enough people explore their individuality.
Okay. Yeah. You said some interesting things there. Free will. What is that?
I think it's the ability to make choices not based off others' interpretations or others' narratives of you, but to make it based on your own perspective and your own wants and needs. For instance, I obviously come off kind of like bro-y, but at the same time, like, I'm very like retrospective. I'm very interpersonal. Like, I'm gonna ask you how you're feeling, like why you're feeling that way. I'm not just gonna be like, yeah, man, even though that's like the visual aesthetic that I have. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Does free will have something to do with our identities?
I think so, because I feel like a lot of people associate their identity with their upbringing and their families and their religion, especially. And so free will is like, yeah, I understand, like, I have that background, but that's not exactly who I am. Like, I also have, like, these hobbies, these cultures, these ideas, these thoughts.
Oh, I see. So free will might be measured insofar as, like, the things that we do outside of how we were raised and that sort of thing?
Exactly. If you are able to break the mold, for instance, like, let's say you were raised in, like, a very uptight, like, Catholic family or what have you, you understand, like, yeah, that's like my moral compass, that's like how I was molded, but that's not exactly who I am. I'm also this person. I have these interests, I have these hobbies, that's who I am. This is just in the background, you know?
Oh, I see. So it's free will is part of our, like, identity construct, separate and apart from any outside influence.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. Free will is doing exactly what you want in that moment based on your goals and your inspirations, your initiatives.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really neat. Is there is that something that you would like to dig into about free will and how confident you are that that's true? Is that a good claim for us to talk about today?
Yeah, if you want to dig on that, I'm down. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's interesting. Okay.
I feel like we let outside influences anchor ourselves down too much. For instance, I come from, like, a pretty middle-class suburban family, like, never really partied, anything like that. And then once I became an adult, I tried to follow in their footsteps and realized, like, that's not my path. So I was able to...
What do you think caused you to think that's not my path?
I just realized I was doing things for other people and not for myself. It was a big one. So, like, you know, growing up, everybody tells you, go to college, make sure you get your degree, or else you really won't succeed in life. Or I don't know if that's how you were raised, but essentially my family told me, like, kinda. Hey, they were essentially like, hey, unless you get, like, a scholarship somewhere, you won't do anything.
Right. Like, this is the standard narrative of how to be a good citizen or upstanding citizen.
Exactly. And so I think it's okay to follow those guidelines. You know, like, I think religion is okay in the sense of, like, a moral compass. For instance, like, help others how you would help yourself, like, giving unto others and such. But I don't think it's something to absolutely stay on that path for, you know? I feel like it's like all right, you can be way over here, or you can be way over here, but you're still going your own way.
Fascinating. Okay. If there wasn't free will, what would reality look like? Do you think? It's a hard one.
This is where my economic mind comes into play. I think you would see there would be no mom and pop stores, there would be no nothing. It would be all Amazon, all Walmart, all big corporations.
Oh, so, like, if there wasn't free will, everyone would be doing the same things?
Yes. Yes. Which, I mean, like, in a sense of hive mind, especially with, so 2019 was the theme. I understand, like, that being a common goal because we all have the goal of individualism and creativity. But if you're all in the sense of corporatism or capitalism and like, let's just try to be cheap and do the same thing as everybody else because it's hype, you know? I feel like at that point you lose your free will, you lose your individualism, you lose a part of yourself.
Interesting. Okay. So it seems like free will is more about, to you it sounds like free will is defined by, let's try to revisit that definition again.
So it's not constraining to your background. It's not constraining to your...
So you're describing what it is not.
Yeah. So free will would be doing what you want in that moment, regardless of what others and other outside influences do.
So maybe free will is about a decision made irrespective of any outside influence.
Yes, okay. Exactly. It's a decision based solely on your beliefs and values, not on the values that you were constructed by society.
Okay. Could it be? Now, this is a wondering type of question, and let me know if it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Or maybe if there's a better way to word the question. Though I'm wondering, is there anything that we could ever think that's not influenced by the external world in some way?
That's a difficult question because at this point you have people that are literally calling themselves influencers. You have people that are like, hey, my whole idea is to put an idea into your head. I'm supposed to project my values and thoughts onto others. And I hate that. I feel like, no, I'm my own person. I'm going to believe in my values and what I believe as an individual.
If somebody were out there preaching, follow your own path, don't do what other people say, would that itself be an outside influence for other people?
I agree. Yes. Yes. And I think a common thing you see, especially, I don't want to name drop it, there's a very popular podcast right now with a certain commentator for...
You can name drop it if you want.
Joe Rogan.
Okay, sure.
I feel like he does promote that individuality a lot. However, he does give platforms to people that I do not agree with.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's very much like a weird gray area with that. Yeah.
And I think it's fine to like certain people who you agree with largely or in part and not all the way. I think that's pretty healthy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I think sometimes he gives platforms for people that are very much detrimental to society, but at the same time he also gives platforms to people that are very helpful.
What was the reason we brought Joe Rogan up again?
Influencers.
Oh, influencers. Right.
So if you were to say that you were an individual because somebody told you to be an individual, are you still an individual? I think that's what you were saying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or is there any way to think any thought at all that's not in some way touched by the external world in some way?
I think that's an excellent question. I think we're all influenced by some outside force or another, but deep inside, it's a very altruistic, who am I as a person? What do I fully believe? What do I semi-agree with? What do I not agree with whatsoever? If you can put that on a spectrum of your beliefs, for instance, I don't think anything's black and white. I think everything's on a spectrum. So I also think like religious, economic, governmental, political, everything on that.
That's a big part of what this is. We talk about the scale of confidence and how confident we are in any particular one of our ideas.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of street epistemology, although we haven't gone there yet only because free will is such a big what.
Exactly.
Right? That we have to figure out what it is we're talking about before we can talk about a scale of confidence in it. But anyway, that's essentially what this process is. Okay. That's really interesting. I bet I have... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so growing up, would you say that you were influenced by like a church or a certain like governmental belief or anything like that?
Would I say?
Yes.
I think I would say like there's nature and nurture, and I don't have any control over either of those two things.
So, I apologize to interrupt.
That's fine.
I think when I talk about free will, I think about going into your individualistic nature, not how you were nurtured growing up.
Oh, individual. So what is nature?
That's up to the individual.
Oh.
For instance, flight or fight, that's different for every single person, depending on your personality, your upbringing, everything like that. At that point, it comes up to you, but even then, it's still influenced by the outside world, how you were brought up, you know?
So nature is something,
Like
how do
more
you...
instinctual, I would say.
Instinctual.
For instance, your friends are going...
Something innate that we don't control?
Exactly. Your friends are going cliff diving.
Okay.
You've never been there before. Do you do it?
Like the impulse to jump?
Exactly.
Okay. Huh. Fascinating.
For instance, I wouldn't. It's not because of my upbringing or anything like that. My parents are very much free thinkers. I just am more... I like to calculate. I like to make sure everything's inside of that.
That kind of guy.
Yeah. Or like... I'm trying to think of another explanation, but I can't really at the moment. But like, if you can go... And it's not even like forcing yourself to go against the grain. If you understand that like you are willingly, enthusiastically, consentingly going with your nature, whether it's with the grain of your upbringing or not, I feel like that is free will.
Oh, okay. Whether or not it's going against the grain of how you were raised or brought up.
Because you're making your own individualistic choice based on your own free thought.
Okay. Let's do a thought experiment, if you
Yeah.
don't mind. By the way, how are you feeling? Do you like this process so far?
Yeah, this is great. I actually really like this.
Do you have anywhere you need to go?
No, I'm totally free.
Cool. I'd like to check in once in a while just so I'm not like bogarting all of your time. And I have a little timer here that makes me keep track of how long we're going, just in case I'm taking all of your time. So let's do a thought experiment.
Okay.
Let me think for a moment here. Okay. Think of a movie, any movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and say what it is.
Zoolander.
Zoolander. Okay. Yeah. It's shuffling the deck, and there it is.
Or Big Fish. That was the two that came up.
Or Big Fish.
Yeah, Big Fish with Ewan McGregor.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
It's a Tim
It's been a
Burton
while
movie.
since I've seen it.
It's really pretty.
Big Fish, and what was the other one?
Zoolander.
Zoolander. Yeah, Zoolander's hilarious. Okay. So, did you have free will to choose those movies?
Yeah, I think so, because at that time I think the first time I watched Zoolander, like just personal experience, I think I was just at home flipping through the channels, and it was like, this looks kind of funny. Okay. Oh, that's Owen Wilson. So.
What do you think caused you to think of that movie?
Family influence. Yeah, 100%. My family always used to tell me that Ben Stiller was my stepdad, or was my real dad, and they just never told me.
That's awesome.
It was, yeah. So, even like growing up, so probably since like 5th grade, they were like, yeah, you look exactly like Ben Stiller. He's obviously your dad. And so, my high school graduation party, they literally sent an email to his agent to like, yeah, this is your son. Like, look at this face shot. And I think that was like the first thing I was like, yeah, Ben Stiller.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even then, we're still at least somewhat controlled by outside influences.
Looks like there's a party over by the mountain.
Oh yeah.
Wonder what they're doing.
That is interesting. Wanna go check that out?
I kind of do. Oh, is that ice cream? Oh, dude, that might be ice cream, man.
Dude, I'm down for ice cream.
I mean, it looks like it. There's like a box over there.
Oh yeah.
But I don't really know for sure. We could put a pin in this and pick it up.
Yeah.
How about this? Let's come to a stopping point,
okay.
And then we'll pick up maybe later after we've done figuring out what that is.
So growing up, I don't know your background or your beliefs or anything like that.
Yeah.
Would you say that you intrinsically think of how others think of you before you make a decision afterwards? So, for instance, like, if you were to make a big purchase, you think, okay, well, how is this person going to think about my purchase? How's this person going to think? How is this going to reflect my beliefs?
I mean, I think probably, occasionally.
Yeah, okay.
I guess it depends on the situation, contextually.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think contextually, but it feels like no matter what, we are controlled by outside influences, but free will is being able to make your decisions on your own without thinking about those outside influences.
Oh, without thinking about outside influences.
Yeah.
Yet those outside influences still might be there, choosing our decisions for us.
Possibly subconsciously, yes, for sure. For sure. I feel like no matter what, they're subconsciously there. Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Any questions for me before we wrap up this portion and go check out that ice cream?
I just want to thank you, and this is wonderful. This has been an excellent conversation.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah,
I don't get to project. I don't not project my beliefs, but at least like explain my beliefs on
That's
people.
the whole point.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm religious, but it feels like religion's actually like shaped a lot of my life.
Okay.
And at the same time, I wouldn't say like I'm very financially like I don't care
Minded?
about money. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Minimalistic.
But
Sure.
at the same time, I'm like, I still need money to go to this stuff,
Right.
So it's everybody's their own little hypocrite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I have them too, and I'm not aware of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's put this on pause. Maybe this will be part 1, and then let's go check that out.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.